Hello everybody, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today's video, we're in the Netherlands and at the moment we're in Schiphol Airport Station. This train here is top and tailed by two NS Class 186 electric locomotives. However, this train is not the one we're getting on, as obviously it's leaving now. So big. The train we're getting on, however, is a Class 2600 Sprinter unit.
Plenty of space. Go on.
As we travel in the train, I think I should explain why I'm in the Netherlands. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I'm an Explorer Scout. It's the older and better version of Scouts, which you've probably heard of. And my unit is going to the Haarlem Jamboree. That is a 12-day camp that isn't actually in Haarlem, but we'll ignore that.
Why? Then getting a train to Harlem. Why?
Effort.
Why can't we just go in this? Why don't we just stay on this train? Nobody's been on a train. You can't always get direct one.
Why don't you just like steer the train out?
You can't steer them.
No, I'm not ready.
On the main line, we pass another two Class 2600 Sprinter units. In the Netherlands, I believe the majority of the network is electrified with overhead wires like you see here, and there is a lot of electric trains. Because of this, obviously, they're not going to run diesel locomotives under the wires like we do here quite a bit in the UK, because the majority of the network is electrified, so there's no real point of having a lot of diesel engines. They do have some, but there's not too many. There's much more electric units than diesel units and locomotives.
Oh, okay. Well, you know.
What they all say.
Oh, wicked.
Do it a bit lower. Through the door.
No,
So it curves around and hits the one right now. I reckon it curves. Let's test.
We also pass an ICM Klopper unit, so named because you used to be able to walk between two sets if they were coupled together. Before they changed it somewhat recently, we no longer can do that because it was a bit dangerous.
Hey, somebody.
I can do.
Stop people getting onto it.
I can do it.
The car goes off onto the thing, but it goes onto one of them.
No, I don't know why that's.
It says that the car doesn't go off. Oh, we're going up.
Oh, damn, where are we going?
Going up.
Where are we going,
We
boys?
are rising into the opposite of Leeds.
Yeah.
Why is this train so smooth? This is like the smoothest train ever. Because it's not England.
Not England. That looks like water there.
There's even more down there. There's like a load. There's lines down there. That's a road. And that's a canal. And that's a... Why do they actually have good transport?
I don't know. Why do they have actual
You
like,
don't.
public footpaths as well?
I mean, it's quite nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's smooth.
Looks is a nice car, but they rust
Oh, there's a station. I think we're getting there.
They started
I can-
we're going quite slow.
I can see a station. There's something coming up.
Yeah, they started raining.
And we'll just have a big...
What an amazing video.
Yeah.
It's
It's just raining.
Freddie, do it a bit lower. Faster.
Volgende station is Amsterdam-Lelylaan. Station Amsterdam-Lelylaan.
It's Amsterdam.
Do you really trust that? Amsterdam. Why did they just say Amsterdam?
Oh, that looks a bit full.
Another train we see is a Thalys PBA unit. Not having finished my first journey on NS, I was already very impressed with lots of the high-speed electric trains, high frequency, and also local haul trains as well, which I was a bit surprised about. I thought there wasn't any electric locos on passenger trains and they were only on freights. But the first train I see in the Netherlands is a local haul train.
We're getting off there.
Oh, mine, that's the first thing that went. It
my-
went like 2 seconds, and then I replaced it and it went again. Instantly. It is just like perpetually broken on my life.
We stopped at a station, but we didn't. This is not the one we get off on. As we travel along, you may notice lots of tram lines beneath the railway, as the Dutch actually have a lot of good public transport where you can use the trams and they connect to the railway stations. Obviously, you can go on the train to the local station and then you go on your tram to get closer to your house. You might see that in some of it's actually covered in sort of grass and green and moss. It's a bit interesting how I would have thought that would have rusted the track, but apparently they do that, and I guess it sort of blends in. It's not a sort of grey line where there's ballast, it's just green instead. It's a bit more, I guess, looking like a park. A bit nice looking.
Comms. They're watching. Funny.
That's a big magazine.
I could eat one of those.
I have a lot of
I've got a man.
These are one of a kind.
Are we going to a theme park? No.
It is absolutely slaughtering.
Oh, my ticket just went behind.
Lost your ticket.
No, it went behind something in my pocket. Starting big Charlie 500.
We see another local hauled service, once again top and tailed by two NS Class 186 electric locomotives, which is what we saw at the start of the video in Schiphol Airport Station. Obviously we only saw the tail end of it.
Too many trains.
Too many trains.
Can't look at them all.
You
want the basic pounds?
Can't look at all of them.
So you want... To be honest, this is quite nice.
Oh, they've got trams as well.
Het volgende station is Amsterdam Sloterdijk. Station Amsterdam Sloterdijk. U kunt hier overstappen via Zandvoort aan Zee. U kunt hier overstappen.
Is it? Not this one. Oh.
It's not stopped yet, guys.
Yeah,
but it's... We're not getting off here. Yeah, we are.
That's a station that I believe, and I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, that is called Amsterdam Sloterdijk. We first see a Class 2600 Sprinter unit. Then, after that, we saw more trains, because this is a very busy station. We saw a Class 9400 double-decker train, and another one as well.
Two. Just the second one.
Look at this.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't look like right next to it. Put your head closer.
Nah, man.
Just do it.
Nah, man.
Then there's a train coming up there.
Oh, damn, there's two. Fuck off that.
Yeah. Now I'm getting so many views.
I pushed Kevin into the rails. I pushed someone into the rails because they were annoying me. Yeah.
Tom!
Hey.
Ben!
Me!
Sexy.
Me!
No.
Our train is a Class 2600 Sprinter unit. As we leave this station here, we see a Class 9400 double-decker train, and I want to say this station here is pretty crazy. There's a lot of different lines. There's about 3 stations all combined into one. There's a tram line that joins in as well. It's just a lot of different lines, all electrified, different levels. There's different sort of lifts and everything to get at the levels. It's a very large station, and it's not all one big thing. It's all sort of maybe a few platforms, and they all combine, so you can have a lot of different lines. I guess it's kind of like a parkway station here in the UK. But yeah, it's a very, very surprising and confusing station, but I like it. You'll see a bit more from the outside later on in the video.
Do you like trains? No. Do you like trains? Yeah. Ben.
Okay.
We're gonna chill out.
Okay, sure.
Just you wait.
It's a bit threatening, Tom.
Hey, I think the WhatsApp group needs some more stuff on it.
Nah.
Does anyone want to be on the WhatsApp group?
I mean, I'm already in it.
Oh, what's the password? Your phone. I'm just wondering. Come on. No. No, I was joking. There's no train Wi-Fi. It's outrageous.
Oh, no. Oh, there's a canal. It's like a tiny little waterway.
This train that we're on takes us to halfway Zwanberg. I probably pronounced that wrong as well. It doesn't end there. There's more of a line off there, but we got off the train at that point. As the Harlem Jamboree is at Spaanwold Park. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing any of these Dutch words wrong, because I probably am, but I'm giving it a go.
Ask any Englishman.
And they mine coal and slate.
No, just like we mine coal.
No, they mine coal as well. South Wales.
No, we don't.
Yeah, they do. Big steel industry.
Big steel industry.
Yeah.
Steel?
Yeah.
Not coal.
Yeah, but they need coal for the steel, and there's the coal mines in South Wales, or there was. So they stopped them, because it's stupid.
Yeah, but the more famous is like...
That's a big lake, that. That's my house there. That's where we're staying. That's our tent.
Oh. You see that one in the middle of the water? That's mine.
Well, the sunken one, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, is that the pavement?
No, that's a. I don't know. Chill on Tom.
Oh, you missed the kiss.
Yeah, no one wants to see that.
That's Tom, our horizontally tall. After passing the lake and seeing the rainy Dutch countryside, we've arrived at our station, Halfweg, and see our class 2600 unit leave the station after we got off it.
Nah, it's fine. Just makes us seem racist.
It's not stopped.
Oh, it's I'm trying to learn the language, okay?
On the way to a theme park, one of the activities on the camp, we see a freight train. I believe this is hauled by a class 1600 unit, but I might be wrong. It's an electric locomotive. Also on the way to the theme park, we saw a train line that ran right next to the motorway, parallel with it. This is not too uncommon. I've seen it in the UK as well, especially on the East Coast Main Line. There's one portion there. And we even saw a train on this as well. That was an ICM Klopper unit, two of them in fact, coupled together. And now this is Amsterdam Sloterdijk, or however you say it. And you might be able to see now what I mean by the sort of strange number of lines. There's two stations there, and a connected bit, and there's a tram line further down as well. There was a class 2600 Sprinter unit inside the station, and then that's the station that we originally got off the train at and changed train. Very nice big glass train shed, but there's just a load of different lines and they're all at slightly different levels. It's really quite surprising how complicated it is. On the way back, we raced two Sprinter units, both 2600s I believe, and we even saw a class 9400 double-decker unit as well. I'm annoyed I never got to ride on a double-decker unit, but there's not much I can do about that. Apart from go to the Netherlands again, which I might do, because the trains were very nice.
Up with the train. There's a train. We're keeping up with it.
God.
Yeah, we need to go faster. We're losing it.
We're going faster.
We're losing it. step on it. He needs to step on it. We're losing.
I got the sunbite, guys.
We're losing it. No, we've lost it.
I have.
Oh, there's another one. It's going the other way.
Halfway, I saw both a 2,400, 2,600, but in Amsterdam there was a class 186 on a train as well. Going around Amsterdam, I saw a class 9,500 pulling into Amsterdam station.
Go on,
You've got music over your video.
No, not really.
So,
Going to the Amsterdam Zoo, we rode on the trams. They were interesting. Now on the train, waiting to go back to Halfweg at Amsterdam Central Station, I believe it is this big one. I saw a German DB train leaving the station. I think there was an electric loco on the end because there's a lot of electrified lines here, but I'm not entirely sure what it was, and I never managed to record that. There was also a class 9,400 leaving the station, going sort of same direction of us before probably taking a different direction.
Why not? Why not? It's easy.
that started on 20%, so it's not. So that's actually quite good.
Then another one pulled in, going the opposite way into the station. Leaving Amsterdam, we saw a class 186 and another one on a different train. I believe this locomotive that you're about to see in a minute is also class 186. They look very similar, if not. However, this isn't in the standard NS yellow and blue livery. It's in a grey and green livery. There was another one at the same sort of loco at the other end. I believe that was red, but I'm not entirely sure it was. That was very interesting though. It's probably the most interesting train I saw, because it's very different livery compared to what everything else I saw, apart from maybe the orange freight, but I didn't get too much of a good view of that. Leaving Amsterdam, we also saw another train. This was a parked, or in fact two parked ICM Klopper units. Travelling along at high speed on the electrified main line, we went over a bridge that I believe can be raised and lowered for ships and I guess boats to go underneath it on the water. So that was quite interesting. Aside from that, the scenery is mostly graffitied walls and overhead wires and some trees and regular buildings. Going up a gradient, I saw two class 2,600 Sprinter units, so seeing multiple different EMUs and possibly there's some electric locos in there, I'm not entirely sure, but those include classes 2,400, 2,600, 9,400 and INC Klopper units. In Amsterdam Sloterdijk, there was another class 9400 double-decker train that I'm still a bit annoyed I didn't ever get to travel on, but again, not much I can do about that, apart from go to the Netherlands again.
Right, so it costs that, and that's the Howard, and the extra 3 seconds. When it was 10 meter, the laptop was 3 seconds. Well, just a tennis. I've been in your garage. I've been in your garage to get ice cream. I'd be on that time. What's the video living room? I don't care. I tried to tell you, my phone went up by like 20%.
Sadly, I was unlucky and saw none of the trains as we were leaving Amsterdam Sloterdijk. No trains on these electrified lines here, and the ones above us are even on the junction as we peel away off to Halfweg, and I'm not quite sure where the other line goes, but there was no trains there, which is a bit annoying. Walking back to the campsite, I saw two NS Class 2400 Sprinter units pulling into Halfweg Station, going over the level crossing that we walked over various times to get obviously onto the station. After 12 days of very fun camping, we left the campsite, and in kind of sunny weather for once, unlike what we had the other days, we passed a 9400 double-decker train as we were going back home.
Het volgende station is Amsterdam Sloterdijk. Station Amsterdam Sloterdijk.
At one of the multiple stations that makes up Amsterdam Sloterdijk, I saw an Olafales PBF.
It's not gonna stop, Stan.
Our train back to Schiphol Airport was another Class 2600 Sprinter units. That was in fact the only trains we ever managed to ride on the Netherlands. I'm kind of sad I never got to ride on the Class 186 units. Leaving one of the stations that makes up Amsterdam Sloterdijk, you can see the different lines that make up this station and how the different trains can get to the different stations and how they go over the different lines. There was even, on the other side of us as we were leaving the station, a rapid transit system which we kept in pace with and sort of raced for a while, which shows how much public transport there is here. There's sort of the mainline heavy rail trains, and then there's a smaller one as well. I believe it was rapid transit. It's not a proper train, it looked too small on that, and it was just stopping at different stations. It's more like a tram and a train sort of combined together, the lightness of a tram or in what have you, and the sort of more higher speed and structural of a train. But anyway, that's what we saw. While we're travelling along now, I'm going to mention the trains that I saw but didn't manage to film. I saw a DB ice train, which is from Germany, in Amsterdam Central. Two fuel trains also in Amsterdam. I only saw at the back of these, but I assume they were pulled by Class 1600 units. And finally, a high-speed, top-and-tailed Class 186 NS train, which didn't stop. I'm annoyed I never managed to film this, as it was probably the best thing I've ever seen. It rushed through, and it's this big electric locos. It looks really good. It's like, reminds me of the Class 91s in the UK and the East Coast. The Netherlands railway system is really good. Mostly electrified, high speed, good trains, high frequency, and pretty cheap tickets. And kind of with tram and rapid transit systems, make it easy and quick to travel by train. Something which should be similar here in the UK.
I don't even know now. No. No, it's not.
It's a couple thousand.
No, it's not. I wish it was. I wish it was that.
What? You did scam someone for that? Oh yeah, I did. I scammed a load of people. She paid $5 for a badge.
It was a very nice badge too.
I paid for 4 badges.
Yeah.
I was under my tent. Keep it? Confectioner.
You can press it. It's not gonna do it. It's fine. Well, we could sue them. It'd be fine.
Not sue them with me. Splattered on a stick.
So what's been the best part of the camp?
The trains.
Okay.
I had snooze.
Really?
Last night.
What were you doing last night?
You're getting shouted at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
The Mocky was. The Mockies.
The first night
Oh.
the Mocky was cool.
Please be training.
Big disco.
The big disco.
Right at the front.
The big disco I like all.
I don't like cricket.
Well, there's another train.
Yeah, he didn't marry me.
The barrier, Charlie.
I got nothing to hold on.
So,
Just
I'm gonna die.
just balance. Just lean on the door.
Take a minute.
it's not going to open.
Smash that glass.
No, you're not that heavy.
I'm leaning on the door. No, it's worse on Northern Rail trains.
Oh.
Sometimes the door shakes. It's so awful.
Nah.
In the subway, the train was shaking. You could see out and foot down.
Oh yeah, that's not uncommon.
As we parallel the motorway, going back to Schiphol Airport, I want to say that I really enjoyed the Haarlem Jamboree and the Dutch railway system. I hope I can come back someday to both and ride trains that are just Class 2600 Sprinter units, as that's the only trains that I've ever ridden on in the Netherlands. And I particularly want to ride behind the Class 186s because they look very nice, and local haul trains are better than anything else, in my opinion. I think this sort of multiple unit trains aren't as interesting to me, at least anyway. It's interesting riding trains from a different country, as I've never done that before. I've seen trains in France. I've got a few videos and photos of that, and I possibly might do a video of that. Let me know if you want to see that. Aside from that though, it's only been English trains. Well, technically there's also the Welsh and Scottish, but that's part of the Great Britain as well. So it's all really just from one country, and they all look the same obviously. So it's interesting seeing the differences in how here on the continent they've got double-decker trains. Now you had the prototype bully double-decker train here in the UK, but that's the only thing, not widespread, that I can regularly go on even in the modern day. So that's good to see how different trains, and I hope to see more in the future.
It depends how they felt.
At Schiphol Airport, we saw a full-size replica of the McLaren 2023 Formula 1 car. I thought that was pretty cool. Thank you for watching this video by me. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below with some video ideas or feedback. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.